Hello and welcome. Today we're dissecting one of the most significant and controversial technology companies of our time, Huawei. Its journey is a powerful case study in rapid growth, global controversy, and extraordinary resilience. In this video, we'll analyze this tech titan's journey through its groundbreaking innovation, its navigation of unprecedented global challenges, and its strategic diversification. So, what does Huawei actually do? Its scope is vast, aiming to connect the digital and intelligent future. This is built on five core business segments. ICT infrastructure. This is the foundation, building 5G, optical, and wireless networks for telecom carriers and enterprises. Cloud and AI, providing secure, reliable cloud services and powerful AI platforms like Pengu AI. Consumer business. This is what most of us know, creating a seamless AI life with smartphones, PCs, tablets, and wearables, all increasingly linked by the Harmony OS. In digital power, a key growth area, integrating electronics for a greener future with solutions for solar power and data centers. And intelligent automotive, a new frontier, providing smart driving components, cockpits, and full-stack solutions to help car manufacturers build better vehicles. To understand Huawei today, we must look at its history, a journey from a small reseller to a global tech giant. It all began in 1987. Ren Zhengfei, a former military engineer, founded Huawei in Shenzhen, China. It started as a small sales agent, reselling private branch exchange, PBX, switches produced in Hong Kong. The first critical pivot came in 1993. Huawei launched its CNC08 digital telephone switch, the most powerful in China at the time. This marked a monumental shift from simply being a reseller to becoming a developer of its own core technology. By 1997, Huawei was looking outward. It secured its first major overseas contract in Russia, beginning an aggressive global expansion strategy that often targeted emerging markets first. A major breakthrough happened in 2004 when the company won a significant contract with the Dutch operator Telfort. This victory was crucial. It proved Huawei could compete directly with established Western suppliers in their own home markets. In 2010, Huawei launched its first own-branded smartphone, the U8150 Idios with Android. This marked the beginning of its meteoric rise in the global consumer electronics market. Just 2 years later, in 2012, Huawei overtook Ericsson to become the world's largest manufacturer of telecommunications equipment, a position it has largely maintained ever since. By 2018, while becoming the number 2 smartphone vendor globally, Huawei had also established itself as the undisputed leader in 5G technology, securing hundreds of commercial 5G contracts around the world. But 2019 brought an existential threat. Huawei was placed on the U.S. Entity List, which severely restricted its access to U.S. technology. This included Google's Android OS for its phones and key chip suppliers, forcing a massive and painful pivot towards self-sufficiency. From 2023 onwards, the story has been one of resilience. Huawei doubled down on R&D, cloud computing, and its own software, Harmony OS. It demonstrated this newfound resilience by launching the Mate 60 Pro smartphone with the new self-developed 7nm Kirin chip, signaling a significant domestic comeback. No company, especially one this large, succeeds alone. Let's look at the strategic alliances that drive Huawei's innovation. The ecosystem is built on key relationships. First, telecommunications carriers like China Mobile, Deutsche Telekom, and Orange remain the foundation of its business. Second, in the major growth area of intelligent automotive, Huawei partners with car brands like Series, aka Ito, and BAIC, aka ArcFox, to provide its Huawei Inside, aka HI, solutions. Third, enterprise and cloud partners, providing digital transformation services to industries like finance, government, and transportation. And fourth, the Harmony OS ecosystem, a critical effort to build a unified operating system by partnering with app developers like WeChat and IoT device makers. Fifth, research and standardization bodies. Huawei collaborates closely with global bodies like the ITU and 3GPP to help define future technology standards for 5G, 6G, and AI. And sixth, its shifting supply chain. Due to trade restrictions, Huawei now relies heavily on domestic suppliers like SMIC for chip manufacturing and its in-house high silicon designs, a major shift from former partners like TSMC and Google. So what are the core operations that drive this global tech leader? It all starts with R&D and innovation. Massive, consistent investment in research is Huawei's foundation. This includes developing next-gen tech like 6G, proprietary Kirin chipsets, and the Harmony OS. This R&D fuels its ICT infrastructure activity, building and maintaining robust 5G networks, optical transport, and data center solutions for both carriers and enterprises. Next is the Smart Devices division, which designs and markets consumer electronics like the Pura and Mate series smartphones, laptops, and wearables, all increasingly unified by Harmony OS. Alongside this, its cloud and AI solutions provide digital transformation services through Huawei Cloud, offering everything from basic infrastructure to powerful AI platforms for large-scale model training. Finally, a key new activity is Intelligent Automotive Solutions, or IAS. This growing unit acts as a Tier 1 supplier, developing components and full-stack solutions for autonomous driving, in-car infotainment, and vehicle-to-everything communication. What are the key resources that enable Huawei to compete and show such resilience? We can break them down into 4 pillars. These 4 pillars are intellectual, patents and tech; human, its massive R&D workforce; physical, manufacturing and R&D centers; and financial, its R&D budget and revenue streams. Arguably, Huawei's most critical asset is its intellectual capital. The company is one of the world's top patent filers, especially in 5G. Beyond patents, the development of proprietary technologies like Harmony OS and its AI platforms creates a strong, self-sufficient ecosystem. Instead of relying on external suppliers, Huawei has built its own core technology stack, from hardware to software. This includes Harmony OS, its distributed operating system; Kirin, high silicon, its in-house chipsets; and Ascend and Compine, its AI and cloud computing platforms. A significant strategic asset is Huawei's workforce. With nearly half of its employees engaged in R&D, the company fosters an intense culture of innovation. Its unique employee-owned structure aims to motivate and retain key talents. The global backbone of the company is its physical resources. This includes advanced manufacturing production lines, a global network of research institutes, and the massive data center infrastructure required to support its growing cloud business. And finally, financial resources are the fuel for growth. The company consistently reinvests a large portion of its revenue, over 15 to 20% annually, back into R&D. Despite challenges, its strong revenue streams provide a financial cushion to weather market volatility. As this chart illustrates, that revenue is diversified across its key segments: carrier business, enterprise business, and consumer business. So what is the core value Huawei proposes? Its mission is bringing digital to every person, home, and organization for a fully connected, intelligent world. It delivers this through, first, relentless R&D and innovation, consistently investing over 20% of its annual revenue into R&D, and second, leading ICT infrastructure, providing the stable, secure, end-to-end 5G and optical networks that form the backbone of the digital economy. Third, a seamless AI life, creating a unified, intelligent experience across all its devices through the Harmony OS ecosystem. And fourth, digital and green power, using its technology to drive the energy revolution with innovative solar and data center solutions. Fifth, customer centricity. Huawei works closely with operators and enterprises to understand their needs and deliver solutions that drive their success. And sixth, open collaboration, building an open ecosystem with global partners, developers, and academia to foster shared innovation. Huawei's diverse portfolio serves several distinct global customer segments. The carrier business targets global telecommunications operators like Vodafone and China Mobile, providing them with wireless and fixed network infrastructure, software, and services. The enterprise business serves businesses of all sizes, governments, and public organizations in sectors like finance, energy, and transportation, offering enterprise networking, IT infrastructure, and digital transformation solutions. The consumer business targets individual consumers and households. Its key offerings include smartphones, tablets, PCs, wearable devices, and smart home products, all part of the Harmony OS ecosystem. The cloud and AI segment targets developers, startups, and large enterprises that require scalable computing power. It offers cloud services, AI platforms like Mindspore, and big data solutions. And the intelligent automotive solutions segment, which targets automotive manufacturers and car brands, offering them a Harmony OS-based cockpit, autonomous driving solutions, and intelligent vehicles. Huawei's operational model is built on a core philosophy of customer centricity, creating long-term value by helping its customers succeed. It uses a two-pronged approach. For B2B, enterprise and carrier, the focus is on strategic partnership and co-creation. This involves dedicated account teams, joint innovation centers, 24/7 technical assistance, and even executive summits to align on long-term strategy. For B2C, consumer, the focus is on ecosystem building and digital engagement. The strategy is to build a sticky digital ecosystem through multiple touchpoints, including the My Huawei app, physical experience stores, service centers, and social media. Across both segments, the strategy rests on four pillars, with value creation driven by R&D as the absolute cornerstone. The ultimate goal is to move beyond being a simple vendor to become an indispensable partner for B2B clients and a beloved brand for B2C consumers. How does Huawei get its products and services to these customers? Let's look at its go-to-market strategy. The primary channels are its three main business groups, which we've discussed: the carrier business for telecom infrastructure, the enterprise business for industry digital transformation, and the consumer business for smart devices. Beyond these groups, it uses distinct sales models. Direct sales and key accounts involves a dedicated sales force managing relationships with major clients, like Vodafone, or large-scale national cloud projects. For broader reach, it relies on a vast partner ecosystem of resellers, distributors, and retailers. For consumers, this is most visible through its official online VMall, its physical Huawei experience stores, and third-party retailers. Running a global tech leader of this scale incurs significant costs. Let's look at the key expense drivers. Huawei's cost structure is heavily investment-driven, dominated by massive R&D spending of over 15% of annual revenue. As the chart shows, key costs include cost of goods sold, SG&A, R&D, and CapEx. R&D is one of the most significant strategic costs. This high, consistent investment focuses on next-generation technologies to secure future growth and technological independence. As the bar chart shows, R&D spending is strategically allocated across core areas, from foundational telecommunications to emerging AI and cloud services. COGS represents the direct costs of producing and delivering products. This is heavily influenced by a complex global supply chain for high-tech components. As the pie chart suggests, raw materials and advanced components, especially semiconductors, typically form the largest portion of COGS. These are the costs to run the business. Selling and marketing includes global branding campaigns, channel partner incentives, and the corporate sales force. General and administrative includes corporate staff salaries, operational overhead, and legal and regulatory compliance. CapEx represents significant investments in long-term physical assets. This includes building new R&D centers and advanced manufacturing plants, purchasing specialized machinery for semiconductor fabrication, and constructing large-scale data centers to support its expanding global cloud services. Now, let's look at the other side of the ledger, a visual breakdown of where the company's global revenue comes from. Revenue is driven by two primary segments. First, ICT infrastructure, the foundational business, providing core network equipment, software, and services. Second, the consumer business, which provides devices and experiences for individuals, focusing on a seamless 1+8+N AI life ecosystem with smartphones, PCs, and smart audio. The other two key streams are cloud and enterprise, driving digital transformation for industries with cloud services, AI platforms, and digital power solutions. And fourth, the high-growth intelligent industrial segment, providing full-stack solutions for next-generation connected vehicles. This brings us to Huawei's competitive landscape. It's a company battling not just global rivals, but also intense geopolitical headwinds. Huawei's competition is a two-front battle. The sanction squeeze has had a massive impact. The loss of Google mobile services crippled international smartphone sales, and an advanced chip cutoff blocked it from key suppliers like TSMC, forcing a pivot to domestic partners. At the same time, a trust deficit based on accusations of espionage, which Huawei strongly denies, has led to market bans for its 5G infrastructure in key markets like the USA and UK, creating reputational damage. In its core business, 5G and telecom, Huawei remains the dominant global market leader. Despite bans, its technology and volume give it an approximate 30% market share, far ahead of its key competitors, Ericsson and Nokia. In the consumer space, the story is one of collapse and rebirth. Once poised to be number one globally, sanctions decimated its international smartphone business, causing its share to plummet from 18% in 2019 to around 4% today. The focus is now on a domestic comeback, competing against giants like Apple and Samsung and other Chinese brands. Cloud and AI is Huawei's critical new growth engine. Globally, it's a minor player where U.S. firms like Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud dominate. However, the fight is primarily domestic, where it is in an intense battle for the number one spot in China against other giants like Alibaba Cloud and Tencent Cloud. Forced into a corner, Huawei's strategy is one of self-reliance and diversification. Ecosystem building, replacing Android with its own Harmony OS, and building an app ecosystem to rival Apple and Google, starting with the domestic market. Domestic chip R&D, massive investment in domestic semiconductor partners like SMIC to bypass U.S. sanctions, as seen in the Mate 60 Pro's Karen chip. Diversification. Aggressively moving into new sectors, including smart car solutions, solar energy, data center hardware, and software services. And that counteroffensive is showing results. This snapshot, based on 2023 and 2024 data, shows a company on the rebound. Total revenue for FY 2023 was 704.2 billion yen, with a strong net profit jumping to 87.0 billion yen. Most importantly, R&D investment remained massive at 164.7 billion yen, representing a staggering 23.4% of its total revenue. Performance highlights show this momentum. A profitability surge continued into 2024. The consumer business rebounded strongly, contributing significantly to revenue growth. And cloud and enterprise growth continued as demand for digital transformation and AI solutions remained high. In FY 2023, the business was led by ICT infrastructure at around 55% of revenue, followed by the rebounding consumer business at around 35%. But looking ahead, the storm is not over. Huawei continues to face a number of key, persistent challenges. First, U.S. sanctions remain the biggest obstacle, particularly the loss of Google mobile services for its smartphones and access to cutting-edge semiconductor technology. This directly causes supply chain disruption, forcing a costly and difficult reliance on domestic alternatives and stockpiling. Third, 5G market access remains blocked in numerous countries due to national security concerns. This is tied to ongoing reputational damage from persistent allegations of espionage and close ties to the Chinese government, which have eroded trust with global partners. Fifth, this means Huawei faces intense competition from strong rivals like Apple, Samsung, Ericsson, and Nokia, all while being handicapped by sanctions. This forces a continuous and expensive strategic pivot, requiring massive R&D to diversify away from hardware dependency and build new leadership and software like Harmony OS, cloud services, and smart car technology. Huawei's story is one of a resilient giant. It is an unprecedented case study of a company navigating the complex intersection of technology, global trade, and geopolitics. While its challenges remain immense, its colossal investment in R&D, its forced pivot to self-sufficiency, and its aggressive diversification strategy have allowed it to not only survive, but in many areas, begin to thrive once more. The journey of this tech titan is far from over. Thank you for watching.